Hello everyone, welcome to the daily current affair analysis from Veranda IAS. Today we are going to see some of the important current affair topic from 6th of June 2023. Without wasting much time, let us move towards the topics of the day. So first topic will be in the short term stabilize the line of actual control which can be mapped to GS3 internal security, security challenges and their management in border areas. The second topic which we have selected is about NIRF rankings where IIT Madras retains the top spot which can be mapped to GS2 governance education. The third topic is about Lavender Festival which can be connected to GS3 S&T and a most probable question with respect to the prelims for the next year. Moving on to the first topic. The topic name, as I told, it is an editorial analysis and in the short term stabilize the line of actual control wherein the writer talks about how we can stabilize the line of actual control. And let us see the context first. For the last few years, the situation of the line of actual controls of the LAC, it has continued to remain extremely tense over the border because of a variety of issues like that of Dockland crisis, Galvan crisis, and it has just stopped short of a war. So this is what is the context all about, and it is basically on how do we stabilize or retain or lessen the tensions that is happening in the line of actual control. So students, those who are following us will definitely know, or for not, we have already made a detailed analysis on what is this line of actual control and what is the issue that prevails, which we can still hear on 5th of May 2023 current affairs. And so for those who are coming new to watch our videos, I'll just have a very brief explanation. So line of actual control or LAC is a border that is existed between India and China, whereas the line of control is between India and Pakistan. So in this line of actual control between India and China itself, we are dividing it into three. Which are they? That is western sector where the Ladakh comes in the Indian part and Tibet comes in the Chinese part. Then we have the middle sector between UK and Himachal will be in the Indian side and Tibet will be there on the Chinese side. Then we have the eastern sector where Arunachal Pradesh will be on the Indian side and Tibet will be on the Chinese side. So this is how we divide the line of actual control or the LAC between India and Pakistan as such. So here in this editorial, those who have read that today's editorial will definitely go to know that in the suggestions they clearly give the different in the editorial they give different suggestions. So let us now try to understand what are the suggestions that he give to stabilize this same thing. Because once we give this kind of suggestions, it will be very useful for you to understand and to reproduce these kind of suggestions as a way forward in the mains answer writings when such kind of questions do arise. So one thing is that converting the LAC into a line of control, that is by clearly demarcating a proper border by without any prejudice to border claims. What is the border claims? So if you are watching the 5th of May video, you will see there are a lot of border claims that India and China is coming up with. So the India claims the areas including that of Aksai Chin to be part of India, whereas the Chinese claims that those regions include that of Zangnan, that is southern Tibet, Arunachal Pradesh is theirs. So these are the different kind of claims that India and China are coming up with the border disputes. Based on that Doklam and Galvan crisis, all these issues are also happening in the line of actual control. So what the author is suggesting is that by delineating all this kind of line of actual control, which is a kind of an imaginary line that is there between the two countries, rather than that, we should clearly demarcate a proper border between the India and China. And it may seem difficult, he himself is saying that it may seem difficult, but it can be implemented with the display of maturity by both sides and also with the use of technology and coming in a consensus. That is, both India and China should come up into a consensus and they should demarcate proper boundary and making it a line of control. Then he is also saying that there is a need to build robust infrastructure in difficult border areas in order to ensure movement of personnel as well as the logistics movement. So it is also very critical for them to provide security from both the sides. Then border troops should continue their dialogue, quickly disengage, maintain proper distance and ease tension, rather than coming into a very hot spot of or the beginning of war or a kind of any tensions that is being building up in the border. So a troops should also maintain or keep that calmness or the maturity in order to quickly disengage or maintain a proper distance between the two. Then the two sides should abide by all the existing agreements and protocols between India and China, and also as per the international protocols, and avoid any action that could escalate the matters and take things into a very serious things like that of war. Then the disputed areas on the LAC can be treated as no entry zones. That means, for example, the Aksai or the Sangnan areas in the eastern sector. So these kind of an areas can be made into a kind of a no entry zone, so that both Indian troops as well as Chinese troops should not enter into those particular areas. But at the same time, both sides should be allowed to patrol these areas as per a mutually agreed frequency. Suppose we can say that yes, on a daily basis, Chinese can come for patrolling for 5 times a day, as well as India will also saying that we can also we will be also doing a patrolling of 5 times a day. So like that, they have to come into a mutual consensus and having a agreed frequency of patrolling between these two. Then the joint patrolling of the disputed areas must also be explored, as this can result in the maintenance of status quo and an increase in the confidence. So this kind of a joint patrolling should be also happening between, that is, both the border troops from India and China should be should do the patrolling together. So that will also increase confidence among the troops. And existing confidence building measures and engagement mechanisms it needs to be strengthened, and we need to understand where the flows is happening, and we should address any kind of limitations to the existing confidence building measures, and any local issues can be resolved quickly by the matured attitude between the both counterparts of India and China as well. Okay, so before going further, you should clearly understand that this issue is always in the current affairs, and this kind of a complexity that is arising between the line of actual control between India and China, this kind of a border problem, it precludes a permanent solution on an immediate basis, because we cannot have this kind of a escalating issues, or this kind of a hotspots coming into the brink of the war. So this kind of an issues is it is really hampering the confidence of the people of both the countries, and also it is a matter of internal security. So as a future civil servants, especially in the civil service examinations, it is very important for us to have a clear view on how we can provide a solution for this, or how we can preclude a permanent solution on an immediate basis for this kind of a crisis. So it is better that both the sides consider talking short term but effective, as well as very pragmatic or realistic steps to stabilize the line of actual control and reducing any further possibilities of conflict in the future. Okay, so with such a kind of a diplomatic conclusion, you can conclude any kind of a topic, but this kind of a suggestions that is being told by the author in this editorial is very good. You can use this in your way forward also when you are writing a mains with respect to line of actual control. Moving on to the next topic, NIRF rankings. IIT Madras retains the top spot. So what is the context about? So in the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras has retained the top spot in the National Institute Ranking Framework 2023 for the 5th consecutive year. So this year also 2023 NIRF ranking have been released, while the IISc, or the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, has been ranked as the best university according to the Ministry of Education. This is the news all about. But with respect to UPSC, we should be definitely able to understand what is this NIRF ranking. So what is NIRF ranking? We should understand about its launch, starting from the launch. Okay, the National Institutional Ranking Framework, or NIRF, it was approved by the Ministry of Education in September 2015. At that point of time, what was the name of the ministry? The ministry was called as the Ministry of Human Resource Development. At that point of time, there was no Ministry of Education, it was Ministry of HRD. So you should understand that, friends, it is the first effort by the government to rank the higher education institutions in the country. Before that, there was no particular system or a criteria for us to rank the higher education institutions in the country also. So the participation in this ranking was made compulsory for all the government and educational institutions in the year of 2018. So since 2018, it is compulsory for all the educational institutions also. Now, if they want to have the ranking, they should have some parameters. They should have some yardsticks. What are these yardsticks? There is 5 parameters, which are they? Teaching, learning, and resource methodologies that they are using, research and professional practices existing in institutions, graduation outcomes, that is what is the result, outreach and inclusivity exhibited by each of the institutions, and the peer perception. perception. So these are the 5 yardsticks with which they are coming up with this kind of a ranking systems, and this ranking is being given on 11 categories. Best institutions across 11 categories are listed out. Which is the categories? Overall national ranking will be there, then universities, engineering, college, medical management, pharmacy, law, architecture, dental and research. So based on these 11 categories, we can see that ranking is being provided. So why we needed this kind of NIRF? So before 2015, as I said, there was no particular mechanism for ranking any higher educational institutions. What was the reason for the launch? The subjectivity in the ranking methodology developed by QS World University Rankings and the Times Higher Education World University Ranking. This led India to start its own ranking system for Indian higher education institution on the rank of the Shanghai ranking. So, inspired by the global rankings and the ratings, we also have come up with the same. And what is the future scope? The long-term plan of the NIRF is to make it to an international league table, because we can see that the education or the quality of the education in India is slowly coming in par with the global education level. We have even seen that IITs are going to be opened in all the kind of European countries, also across different parts of the globe. So we can say the quality of the level of education by the Indian institutions are also being discussed in the global scenario. So we can see that such kind of a rankings of higher education institution from India will be considered as a kind of a standard of a global level. Okay, so this is a long-term plan of the NIRF ranking also. Okay, please do keep in mind these points also when you're discussing about NIRF. Now let us discuss a prelims point of view topic, that is Lavender Festival. What is the context? So recently, the Union Minister of Science and Technology inaugurated the Lavender Festival at Bhaderwa in the Jammu region. So what is this Lavender Festival? So this is the second year of the so-called Lavender Revolution, whereas Bhaderwa has emerged as the lavender capital of India and an agri startup destination. So the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, called as the CSIR. Yes, right. Everyone might have heard about CSIR. So the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, in collaboration with the Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine (IIM), in supporting farmers in the cultivation of lavender in the areas of Bhaderwa, Doda district, Jammu and Kashmir, under the CSIR's Aroma mission. Okay, so that is another mission by CSIR to inculcate this kind of, or to support the farmers in the cultivation of the lavender and to bring about the lavender revolution in the Jammu's areas in the India. Okay, so this Aroma mission is also under CSIR. CSIR, don't forget that, keep that in the mind also. Now let us see some of the key facts about the CSIR Aroma mission. So it is a flagship project of CSIR under which lavender cultivation is being promoted in the temperate regions of Jammu and Kashmir. And also who was launched it? It was launched under the Ministry of Science and Technology. And this project aims to increase the income of small and marginal farmers and develop this agricultural based startups that is bringing in more technology to agriculture and thus bring about a lavender revolution in our country, and which is a kind of a flagship program by the CSIR, also CSIR's Aroma mission. Okay, so what is this lavender? Everyone might have known about lavender, right? It is a flowering plant in the mint family that's easily identified by its sweet floral scent. We already have this kind of talcum powders and also deodorants and also perfumes based on lavender. So this is believed to be the native to the Mediterranean, Middle East, and also in the India, especially in the temperate climate. Okay, so please keep these very factual points, and also since it is connected with science and technology, environment, and also with geography, this kind of topics becomes very, very important for the prelims point of view. So those who are aiming for 2024 prelims, please keep these points in your mind. Moving on to the question of the day. Which of the following statement correctly describes the difference between line of control and the line of actual control? So we have already discussed I have already mentioned this in the first topic itself. Let us see who are coming up with the answers. Statement option A, LOC refers to the border between India and Nepal, while LAC refers to the border between India and China. LOC is the de facto border between India and Pakistan, while LAC is the de facto border between India and China. LOC is the disputed border between India and China, while LAC is the disputed border between India and Pakistan. LOC and LAC are different terms used interchangeably to refer to the border between India and China. So as friends, as we have already discussed, LOC is a very much demarcated, militarily marked frontier separating parts of India and Pak-occupied Kashmir, whereas LAC, or the line of actual control, is an unclear or a speculative border demarcated between India and China with lot of border disputes. So which is the correct answer? Yes, that is statement B. The option B is the right answer for the questions. So I hope the today's kind of a topic that we have selected have benefited you. Those who are coming new to our daily current affair analysis. So friends, will be only taking very limited kind of a topic, 2 or 3 topics maximum for one particular day, but we are trying to bring out maximum analysis for you guys. Also you should definitely we are trying to bring out that kind of we are trying to inculcate that self learning capability on you, so that by just seeing one current affair topic which may see irrelevant or which may feel irrelevant to you with respect to politics, but you have to delve deep inside it with respect to UPSC syllabus. You have to map it, delve deep into these kind of topics and understand what could have been the probable questions from the prelims, or what you have to study for the UPSC with respect to the mains as well as with respect to the prelims. So that is our main goal with respect to this daily current affair analysis. So unless or until we meet next time, this is Prince J signing off. Thank you.